Huawei Map Kit provides a standard map which can be customized for different scenarios using elements such as markers, shapes and layers. The users can interact with a map in your app using gestures and buttons. It also allows users to plan routes for driving, cycling, walking, and is available in many regions and countries of the world. The first step is to enter the Huawei developer site. It should be noted that registration is a simple process, and it only takes 1 to 2 days to validate the identity of the developer. Once inside the panel, we go to the App Gallery Connect section, and then we move to the menu option My Apps. In Huawei App Gallery, we create a new application in the New App button located in the upper right corner, which will open a modal window where by default, we leave the APK option selected to later register the name of the application, the category to which it belongs and the default language it will have. We wait a few moments for the application to be created and we will have all the necessary data and keys ready that will be taken care of later when using the Huawei mobile services. We go to the Develop tab located in the upper left corner, where we can register the name of the application package. Once inside, we select the option to manually enter the package name. In our example, we will enter the package com.de.humsexample. It is important that this identifier is unique and follows the same conventions of any package name of an Android application. To create a key store, we enter the following command in which you must specify a name, an alias and its corresponding passwords and their confirmation. We enter the first and last name. We enter the organizational unit name. We enter the organization name. We enter the city or locality name. We enter the state or province name. We enter the 2-letter country code. We confirm the previously entered data and then enter the password for the key store alias. Once the key store is created, we enter the following command to list the keys it contains. We enter the same password and we go to the part where the SHA-256 key is displayed. We copy its value and return to the web browser to see the information of the application. Now we go to the application information in the My Apps menu, select My Projects. Once the information is loaded, we go down to the section that says SHA-256 certificate fingerprint, enter the key that we copied from the console, and click on the button next to save. We create the project in React Native on the command line. For our example, we give it the name of humsexample and wait for the npm dependencies to finish creating the project. React Native combines the best parts of native development with React, a best-in-class JavaScript library for building user interfaces. React Native lets you create truly native apps and doesn't compromise your users' experiences. It provides a core set of platform-agnostic native. React components wrap existing native code and interact with native APIs via React's declarative UI paradigm and JavaScript. This enables native app development for whole new teams of developers and can let existing native teams work much faster. React Native also allows you to work with TypeScript if you prefer. The next step is to move to the directory where the project was recently created to use the name of the package that we registered in the Huawei Developers Portal. React Native by default, when creating a new project, assigns us another package name. To do this, once you are inside the project folder, we will use the React Native Rename command line tool that allows us to change the name of the package. In the command, we enter the package that was registered on the site and wait for the tool make all necessary changes to directory structure. Now we open the file system in the location where the key store was created, and also in another tab we open the project folder and enter the Android directory and then the app directory and move the key store to the project directory. Once the key store has been moved to the corresponding directory, next you have to make some changes to the application's build.gradle file. To do this within the directories, we move to the application's build.gradle file located in the Android directory and inside the app folder, and we look below within the code for the signing configs option. We remove the debug code that comes by default and replace it with the following code in for release mode, which must match all the data that was entered when creating the key store on the command line. In ProGuardRules.pro we paste the obfuscation code for libraries. Next we open the Android folder of the project in React Native in Android Studio. We go to the build.gradle file of the project in general and look in the code for the buildscript section in the repositories property and add the Maven repository corresponding to the libraries of Huawei. In the dependencies property we add the corresponding class path to use the Huawei mobile services. We go down to the end of the file and in our projects in the repositories property we also add the Maven repository, then we synchronize and wait for the changes to be applied. Now we move to the build.gradle file of the application and in the upper part of the file below the first line, we place the code to apply the plugin that will help us use the Huawei mobile services, synchronize and wait for the changes to apply. To use the maps, it is very important to activate MapKit before in manage a PIS, and every time you make a change to activate or deactivate a kit, you must download the file ag connect services once activated in application information and download the file ag connect services. Once the ag connect services.json file is downloaded, we move it within the file system to the Android directory and within the app directory of the React Native project. In the build.gradle file of the application, we scroll down to the dependencies section and place the dependency of maps from Huawei mobile services, synchronize and wait for the changes to be applied in the project. The next step is to download the MapKit library for React Native. To find it from any search engine we enter the terms Huawei MapKit and in the results we enter the developer's site where we can find all the documentation for this kit and many others kits offered by Huawei. Once the site is loaded, we click on the button View Documents and wait for the next page to load. Once the page is loaded we go to the Overview section. Two options Android and cross-platform appear at the top. In our example we select cross-platform. When loading the next page we move to the plugin tab and scroll until we find a section dedicated to React Native and we downloaded the library in compressed.zip format. The Huawei developer documentation is constantly being updated. We recommend that you continually check this site to see if new versions of the libraries have been uploaded or if any additional steps are required. The documentation for the integration of the Huawei kits is very complete and very well explained in detail. Also as a suggestion we recommend reviewing and completing the Codalabs, which are practical exercises that are elaborated step by step until completing a small project. Once the React Native HMS map file is downloaded, we unzip them and move it to the Node Modules folder of the project in React Native. Now we are going to link the directory that was pasted in Node Modules with the Gradle configuration so that it recognizes the library. For this we go to the settings.gradle file and under the first line of the file we place the following code in which it indicates to Gradle that reads from the directory the library to use maps in React Native and we synchronize. After the library is linked, the next step is to add it as a dependency. We look for the build.gradle file and we scroll down to the dependencies section and place the following code just below the dependency of the maps for Huawei mobile services, save, and we wait for the changes to be synchronized. In our example, React Native was recently updated. Later we will show how to fix this issue. Within the directory structure we move to the main application file within the application package. Below the imports we add the corresponding Huawei Maps class and also add it to the list of other packages that React Native uses when initializing. In this version, the map library requires for its operation that the minimum supported version of the SDK is version 19. The project currently comes with version 16. To upload the number you have to make the change in the build.gradle file of the application. React Native was recently updated and to fix the version error we open the project and go to the package.json file where we will check which version we are using. In our example is version 0.63.1. We copy this value and return to Android Studio. At the bottom an error is shown to which we click so that we will have the map library to which we are going to change the dependency version of React Native. We synchronize and wait for the changes to be updated correctly. With all the libraries ready and well configured, we create the React code. We delete all the code that comes by default in the template. We also delete the styles. We remove the import of libraries. We import the map view component from React Native HMS map. We create the map component. We assign a flex style 1 to cover the whole screen. We create the object that will contain the initial region of the map. We assign the latitude. We assign the longitude. We assign the latitude delta. We assign the longitude delta. Once we have the initial code to be able to show a map with MapKit, we move to the terminal to start React Native through the npm start command, and in a separate tab we execute the npm run Android command, which will execute the project init device. We wait for Gradle to download all the missing dependencies and generate the app file. This process, the first time it is run, may take a few minutes depending on the connection. When the app file is generated, we go to the physical device on which we click on Continue to accept the installation of the application. After this, the application will connect with the React Native server and begin to download the necessary files for the execution. This process takes a few seconds. The map has been successfully loaded using MapKit. The map allows all the actions common to users, such as moving in different directions, changing the orientation, increasing or decreasing the zoom level using the controls. MapKit offers a very wide set of additional options, for example markers, routes and different types of maps. The first step is to generate an app file in React on the command line, which will generate the Android app build outputs app release directory with the name app release.app. Next, we move to the Huawei developers site, and in the Customize console button at the top, we enable the cloud testing and cloud debugging options. We enter the cloud debugging option and wait for it to load all the device models that Huawei offers us to test. We select one, for example the P40 model, and we click on Start Debugging, which will launch the process of initializing the device. Now we continue uploading the file that was generated to the uploads area. This process may take a few minutes to complete. When the file is finished uploading, it will begin to be installed on the device. At the end of this operation, it will indicate us with a notification at the top. We continue to review and accept the terms of Huawei Mobile's services, and we also enable the use to share analytics to show us the device on the screen. This is an excellent option when you do not have a physical device or you want to try on more models. We open the application. Ready, we have the application in React Native with MapKit, complete and working correctly on a device in the cloud.